Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy HighRoller. So I'm back with a video today. It's a little different than usual. You guys asked for my settings. I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet. I'm gonna show you guys my controller settings. I'm gonna show you guys my crosshair settings, and then some of my visual settings as well. I'll talk a little bit about stuff at the end. If you guys have any questions, just leave them down in the comments. I'm always happy to answer them. I love reading them. I get a lot of great feedback from you guys, so please do give me your opinions. And of course, if you guys are enjoying my content, I would love to see you guys come to see me on stream. We can talk about things in person there, and of course you guys can watch me play live. So you can check that out. That's HighRoller_GG. Follow me on Twitch, guys. It's the same on TikTok. So enough said, guys. Let's get right into the settings. So to start, guys, I'm going to show you guys my controller settings. I have the same sensitivity for look and horizontal. I find that it's more consistent, so that's 315, 315. It's the same with my zoom sense and my scope zoom sense. So that's for ADSing. That's 47 and 47. Focal length scaling is on. Horizontal look boost is 220. Vertical look boost is 0. Look boost ramp up time is 0.5. The rest of these boosts, zoom horizontal, zoom vertical, zoom look, and that's all 0 right there. My aiming inner dead zone is at 0. That's very important. There's actually a little bit of a side note I'd like to just say really quickly. The reason why I have it at 0 is because I get essentially the most amount of input on my stick, and also it affects my aim assist the least. I used to run it at 3. Yes, you still get aim assist. There's a myth going around that apparently if it's anything greater than 1 as a value, you don't get aim assist. That's not true. But it takes a little bit longer for your aim assist to come in because you have more input delay. So I play on 0. If you have stick drift, I recommend that you play any value that'll eliminate stick drift, because once again, you will get aim assist. You don't want to be fighting against your stick. So I play on 0. But that's something I think that you can adjust. I wouldn't have it greater than 5 though. Movement inner dead zone is 5. Invert vertical look, of course, I don't play inverted control, so that's off. Look response curve is linear. That's very important, and I'll talk about that maybe a little bit at the end of the video. And look acceleration is 0. These are my binds, guys. So my equipment wheel, I play it on my D-pad. I like to have the ability to access it that way. But that's something that I think is something you can change. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but I find it comfortable on my D-pad. I have sprint behavior, which is toggle, crouch behavior, which is hold. So essentially, guys, if I'm crouching, I want to make sure that I'm in control of when I can come out of it. So I hold down with R3, that's where my crouch is. Zoom behavior is hold, it's the same thing. That's pretty actually standard across FPS games. So I have ADS on my L2, and I just hold it down to ADS. Obviously, when you let go, you're out of ADS. I always prioritize reloads over interaction, guys, because the last thing you want to do is be in a gunfight, you go for a reload, and you grab a barrel. That would be awful. My jump is on my L1, so I play bumper jumper for some of you who play Apex, or if you've played COD. I didn't have paddles in the past. Now I have a DualSense Edge controller. So I do have one singular paddle on the back, which I use. It's bound to my X. I used to have my specialization on X. It's still gonna be X in my binds, but when you have an elite controller, you can map that button, which is my X, to my back paddle. So when I use my back paddle, it's like I'm using X, but I don't have to take my thumb off the stick. So primary fire R2, secondary fire is L2. Sprint is on toggle, that's on my L3 button. I'm pretty sure I have auto sprint turned on though, so that's something that it's not that big a deal, but I would just put it on that. Specialization I just talked about, that's X. Ping is R1. I find that it's easy to just look at something and hit R1 and it's a clear ping. Quick melee is circle. I've thought about maybe putting another paddle on the back to map my melee to it, but I don't really use quick melee that much, so it's not as uncomfortable for me to just take my finger off the joystick and then just go use circle. Crouch and slide is R3. I find that that's very important because mid-fight I want to have control of my character as much as possible. So I use R3 to slide as well as aim and crouch at the same time. I try to have everything there on my R stick. Aim down sight is obviously L2. Inspect, that's my left D-pad. Emote is down D-pad. My weapon is triangle to swap. The scoreboard I just use on the big piece here. Interact and equip weapon, triangle, reload and pick up objects, square. Communication wheel is up on the D-pad, but most importantly, equipment wheel is on my right. So that way when I'm playing, I can just quickly move my left thumb onto the right D-pad. And that should be pretty much all that. These are just spectator things. Aim assist, obviously, all of these things are on. I wouldn't take any of these things off. Some of my friends have played without aim assist. I don't recommend it. I think that it's a cool flex to say, oh, I don't play with aim assist. But at the end of the day, guys, don't let anyone bully you for playing with a controller with aim assist. We have it for a reason. So that's another debate that we can have another time in another video maybe. But I wouldn't change any of those things. I would have all of these on. Controller vibration is on for me. Then let me go back to gameplay. I'm going to show you guys my crosshair settings. So interface, in-world crosshair is off. I've heard that if you turn it on, it just kind of like moves your inner crosshair a little bit. I don't like it. I find that this is perfect for me, that it's static, so I just leave that off. Center dot is on, obviously, otherwise it would take it away. So center dot's on. Shape is a dot. The center dot is radius is 2. I have it turned all the way to red. It's very easy for me to see things when it's red. If you watch any of my clips or my shorts, you'll see how it stands out. So I like red. So 255 max red, 0 green, 0 blue, 100% opacity. You want to be able to see it clearly. Red outline as well, 255, 0, 0, 100% outline opacity. Outline thickness is 0. I do have a dispersion reticle. I turned this actually on very recently. So in some videos you won't see it, but now that I'm playing more of like the M60, I want to make sure that my crosshair is centered and I'm within the dispersion area, because that's going to show you how wide your bullets are when you're in hip fire. So I turn it on, it's helpful for me. I run a T, otherwise it just feels like it's too much when it's a full cross. I have it set to length 7. All of these are 0. Thickness is 100, thickness 1, red outline is 255, 0 green outline, 0 blue outline, 100% opacity, 1 thickness. And then obviously the static reticle, that's this part in the middle, as you can see, that I'm making it flash. I play with the shape is a plus, it's a cross. Length is 5, inner offset 5, red 255, green 0, blue 0, opacity 100, thickness 1, red outline 176. I could have maxed it out. As you can see, all the other values are 0 and 0. So, you know, I'm probably just going to throw this to 255. It doesn't really matter as long as it's red, right? Outline opacity is 100. Outline thickness is 2. Now, one last thing, guys. I just want to go over to my video settings here. I do have 120 hertz mode enabled. I play on PS5, guys. And I think that it's a significant disadvantage to be playing on anything less than 120 hertz. You want to obviously get a high refresh rate. You want to make sure that the game was smooth. Playing on 60, I used to play on 60. I've been playing since Season 1. And there is such a dramatic difference. So if you don't have this already turned on and you're on PS5, I highly recommend you do. You will have to adjust. The game is going to feel faster. It's going to feel smoother, but it overall is going to be way, way better. My field of view, I do not max out my field of view. I think that it's actually not such a good thing to do that, because the larger you have your field of view set, or the higher I should say it's set to, the smaller objects are and the smaller your opponents are. And that's going to make it really hard for you to be accurate. So I like it on 92. I find that that's my sweet spot for my monitor. And my monitor, I guess it's got to be like 23 inches. It's not huge, but like I said, you want to be able to see your target clearly. So this is something that you can adjust, but I would play between 90 to 98. I would not max it out unless, of course, that's something that you're comfortable with. But once again, I think that's a disadvantage. Motion blur disabled. I don't like motion blur. I want everything to be very clear and crisp. Lens distortion is enabled. It doesn't really affect much, so don't really think too much about the word distortion. Nothing is really that serious. It's not really messing up your peripherals or making anything that much wider. So you can enable that. Idle energy saving, I have it disabled. I don't have any issues with energy consumption. Audio is not that big a deal. We won't go there. The last thing I guess I'll show you guys is accessibility. Because I really, really recommend this one particular setting. Please, guys, invert your flashbang color. If people use flash, there is nothing worse than getting a big, bright white light on your screen. Just turn it on, and all of a sudden, when you get flashed, you'll go black, and that's way easier on the eyes. So, guys, we want to take care of ourselves. We do not want to go blind playing a game. Turn that on, please, for the sake of your eyes. Motion blur, of course, is disabled. And then I have the equipment wheel like we talked about. So those are my settings, guys. One of the things that I wanted to talk about specifically towards the end of the video is why I play linear. I've played Apex probably for like 4 years or 3 years at this point. I was an Apex main before coming to the finals. I played a lot of Call of Duty before coming to Apex, so I've been playing FPS a long time. And I find that linear across all games is the most consistent way to have a response curve. So what is a response curve? A response curve is essentially when I make any kind of input onto my stick, right? Whether I'm going right or left, I want to make sure that it responds when I put an input in, right? So, and I want it to be quick. I don't want that I'm putting in, let's say, a certain amount of force on my stick, and the input is slower or delayed, which is like what exponential would be. Exponential would essentially be I go to the right and it takes a little bit longer at the beginning, but then it speeds up at the end. Some people do play exponential. There's nothing wrong if you do. Everything here is about comfort, guys, and about consistency. But I have played a lot of different games, and I always find that linear is very consistent across games. If I put an input in, it's immediate, it's responsive, and I find that tracking people, it's a lot more consistent. There's no other word for it. So I highly recommend playing linear, guys. I talked a little bit about FOV already, so once again, I really don't recommend maxing out your FOV. I think you're at a huge disadvantage by making targets smaller. You want to make them visible, so you know, like I said, I run 92. Well, I guess that's really it. I mean, I didn't have that much planned to talk about, but I did want to really hammer home that point about linear. So I guess, guys, this is the end of the video. I do hope to make more videos like this where you guys actually get to see me and I can talk to you directly. This is all new to me. So I really hope, guys, that you please leave your feedback in the comments. I'm always happy to discuss things. Let's keep it, polite and respectful. If we have differences of opinions, there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, let's make sure that we keep it polite and respectful so that way we can talk about it. Please, guys, if you like my content, drop a sub. Make sure you guys like my videos so that way we can get into the algorithm a little more. And I do hope to see you guys in my streams. So I hope this video was helpful. Much love to you all. Have a great rest of your July. I'm going to drop a new video soon on the M60. It's just a little montage. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And please, guys, take care, be safe, and let's ring in the next half of the season with some great clips and great moments. Deuces, gang.